And as the British military tournament returns to London this weekend, audiences will notice that 30% of those involved in the King's Troop's iconic musical drive are women. Since the men-only rule in the Royal Horse Artillery was abolished in the 90s, women have carved their own career path. Julie Knox has caught up with some of them behind the scenes at Earl's Court.
It's probably the most memorable routine in the British military tournament. It's not changed over decades and it always brings the house down. All year round, King's Troop rehearses this twice a week. The performance preserves, if only in ceremony, the historic skills of horse-drawn artillery, which were made obsolete by advances in technology. And for the female members taking part, it connects them with an era when they wouldn't have been permitted such a role in the military.
The girls are really good with the horses. I think when initially girls started doing this job, there were some worries because you have to be pretty strong. They're very very fit horses, very strong horses. But actually the girls cope really well with it. And a lot of people say girls are maybe slightly more caring and more interested in looking after them. I think the boys are very caring too, but you get a sort of different approach perhaps sometimes. And you know, maybe with a more difficult horse, having those two different approaches, so sometimes the men work better with horses, other horses will work better for women.
The British military tournament's always an exciting finale to the season. The gun team on parade is made up of more men because they've been in longer, but the girls are catching up to the coveted roles. Katie Stock's the only female steering a team of horses hauling 1.5 tonnes of artillery.
Being the lead driver, you dictate where the gun goes, how fast it goes, and having 6 guns moving around at the same time, you have to be very aware where they are at each time, so you don't crash at the end of the day.
And the women have their eye on all sorts of roles, including becoming saddlers.
There's 3 girls in the saddlery shop in the King's Troop, but other than the troop, the cavalry is the only other regiment in the army that offers saddlery, so for girls to join, it has to be the King's Troop.
What surprised some members of her troop was Zana leaving the ceremonial role for a few years to become a signaller and deploy to Afghanistan.
I think because I've seen the other side of things now, and I've pretty much done everything I could possibly do within my army career now. All I can do now is progress in my trade and move higher up the ranks. I've done everything else I want to do.
The British military tournament is at Earl's Court for 5 shows from Friday to Sunday. It's supporting each service's benevolent fund. Julie Knox, Forces News, London.